Let's get down to business. Whether you're sprinting towards the finish line or slowing down to catch your breath, I respect either one. Welcome into Coffee with Dubs. Grab a seat. There are seasons in life where it feels like you're moving 100 miles an hour. Every day is another project to finish, another idea to chase, or another piece waiting to come to life. Then there are seasons like the one I'm in right now. Things have slowed down. Not in a bad way, just enough for you to notice that I haven't picked up a paintbrush or started a new piece in quite a while. It's been too hot to spend much time in the garage, so I've been building something new. I've been cleaning, been walking the dogs every morning, been enjoying quiet mornings at Stafford Forge, and making these Coffee with Dubs videos. I genuinely enjoy this routine, but I'd be lying if I said I haven't felt the absence of creating. It's a strange feeling when something that always has been a part of your identity suddenly goes quiet. People still invite me to art shows, and every time I get one of those invitations, I have the same thought. What would I even bring? Most of the work I have still feels like it's yesterday's version of me. I haven't made enough new work to fill a booth, and making prints doesn't make much sense when I still have boxes of older ones still sitting in the garage collecting dust. Somewhere along the way, I realized I wasn't excited about showing what I'd already done. I wanted to create something worth bringing. The other day while I was cleaning, I found a 24 by 18 acrylic plaque of my cabin that never sold. I remember pricing it around $115 to $130 and thinking that was pretty reasonable. Then I laughed, not because the piece wasn't good, but because I remembered how ambitious I'd become with my pricing. I started believing that the value of my work was what everyone else would see too. Then my mind drifted to the Alice in Wonderland mirror. That's been sitting in the garage for a year and a half now. I completely rebuilt the wooden frame, repainted it, and transformed a secondhand mirror into something entirely different. I've probably got about somewhere between 70 and 100 hours invested into it. And when I asked $700 for it, the customer looked at me like I was crazy. To them, it was just an old mirror. To me, it represented dozens of evenings, hundreds of decisions, and every lesson I'd learned up until that point as an artist. When I was growing up, everyone knew I was a creative kid. Birthdays and Christmases usually meant sketchbooks, paints, markers, or some new art supply to experiment with. My family encouraged the hell out of that side of me from the very young age, and I was always grateful for that. As I got older, the conversation started to change a little bit. The same people who fueled my creativity began saying things like, art isn't really a career. You need something practical to fall back on. Looking back, I know they weren't trying to discourage me. They weren't telling me I wasn't good enough. They were trying to prepare me for a life they believed would be difficult because I didn't want the office job or the traditional path. And I appreciate that concern as much as I appreciated the encouragement. Even though those conversations hurt, they taught me something I didn't realize at the time. Eventually, I stopped needing everyone else's approval before believing in myself. It's funny how that seesaw lands on the playground of life. The same hands that handed you the first paintbrush can also be the hands trying to protect you from uncertainty that paintbrush might bring. Neither came from a lack of love. One came from believing possibility, the other came from fearing hardship. Somewhere in the middle, I had to decide which voice I was going to carry with me. Pricing artwork has always been one of my hardest points as being an artist. For years, I charged like $50 for an 8x10 or maybe $125 for a 16x20. Then I decided to start charging for my time instead. $20 to $35 an hour depending on the project. The quality of my work kept improving, but also so did the price. And eventually, the numbers stopped making sense to most people. I don't blame them. A customer isn't paying for the hours that they didn't watch happen. They're paying for what they see standing right in front of them. That's when the business side of my art started to stall. I didn't fail because I never stopped making art, but I closed my website, gave up on trying to sell apparel, and accepted that another job had to pay the bills. For a while, I thought that it meant that I'd somehow lost the dream I'd been chasing. But sitting here today, I realized something. I never stopped being a creator. The painting slowed down, but the need to create never left. Now, I tell stories every morning over a cup of coffee. I spend time turning my garage into space that inspires me to build again. And I still look at ordinary things and imagine what they could become. The canvas has changed, but the person holding the brush didn't. Maybe that's what growing up really is. We spend so much time identifying ourselves by what we create that we forget why we create. I thought I was a painter. Then I thought I was a mixed media artist. Maybe neither of those things was ever the point. Maybe I've always been someone who feels most alive when I'm making something that didn't exist already. And sometimes you don't lose purpose. You just find a new canvas for it. So let's keep looking for our next canvas on another pour of coffee with Dubs tomorrow. Until then, keep creating, even if life hands you a different canvas than the one you expected. I'm out of here.